Hello, everybody, and I want to thank you for coming to the webinar, Study in the USA. My name is Ani Petrak, and I'm joined today by Hani Hurtova. We both have experience in the higher education system in the United States. I went through the higher education system in the United States, and I have a number of years of experience advising and coaching young people in the choice of how to pick their higher education institution. And Hani Hurtova is from Prague, or she lives in Prague, and she has also gotten experience with studying in the United States, and she works for the Fullbright Institute and EducationUSA. And it is literally her job to do a good job of telling you how to study in the USA and be successful. So, Hani, is there anything you'd like to add?
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure, always a pleasure. So without any further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we will get started. If you have any questions at any point, you can write them in the chat or you can hold on to them until the end. And with that, I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. All right, so the presentation is entitled Study in the USA, What to Expect and What Not to Expect. The way that this is going to work, I'm going to tell a little bit about my experience having gone through the higher education system in the United States, and I'll be able to explain a little bit about how it might be different from going to a higher education system, going through the higher education system in the Czech Republic. And Hani will have some more particular details for what you need to bear in mind as a Czech student thinking about going to the United States for school. Of course. Here we go. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself and explain what makes me qualified to talk about this. My full name is Ann Heaton Petrak. In my family, we take our name before we're married and have it become our middle name. The letters you see after my name are MPH. That means Masters of Public Health. I have both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in public health. Public health in Czech is veřejné zdraví. And to explain it in a simple way, public health is kind of like if social work and medicine had a baby. We work with prevention, we work with education, we work to keep communities healthy so that they don't get as sick. Like I mentioned, I got my bachelor's and my master's degree in this field. I went to St. Louis University in St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is about 5 hours south of Chicago, if you know where Chicago is in the United States. And St. Louis University is a Jesuit university. It's a Catholic school, but that doesn't have any impact on whether, if you don't want to study religious studies, there's also a bunch of other fields you can study there. The benefit of Jesuit universities, the Jesuits are a particular order of Catholics, and their main focus is on education and social justice. And so if you're looking for ideas for how to finance your education and how to have an affordable college experience, Jesuit schools often have very generous financial aid packages, and they're very good about supporting anybody to get a good education. The other things that define my time in my studies in the United States, there is a lot of things to do on campus in American universities. I was part of the MICA program, Service Learning Community. I lived with other people who were very interested in service and humanitarian work and volunteering. And together we had different intentional meetings throughout the week and throughout the month. And we had a certain number of volunteer hours that we were supposed to fulfill. I had a different one each year, but I often worked with refugee centers, with after-school programs for immigrant children, and with language exchanges for new Americans. I also, during my studies, I also participated in a lot of on-campus fundraisers for Haiti earthquake relief, intimate partner violence reduction awareness, and that's domestic violence. So awareness about reducing the risk of being a victim of intimate partner violence. I participated in fundraisers for famine relief, immigration integration, and different collections for local non-governmental organizations. I also was able to manage part-time jobs both on campus in the tutoring center. I tutored English and Spanish, And I also got different jobs of different degrees off campus, most of them in social services. I was able to arrange 7 months of a work-study opportunity in Madrid, Spain, through a partner university that St. Louis University has. During my master's degree, I was the volunteer service trip coordinator to Choloma, Honduras. In Honduras, we were able to build water filtration machines and see how community health services work, and visit orphanages and do other humanitarian work. Also, in my spare time, which was not very much, I trained for and participated in 5 local half marathons. And all of the connections that I made during my studies with the MICA program, volunteering opportunities with different professors and different professionals on campus, I was able to get my very first full-time job immediately after I graduated from college. So my university time prepared me perfectly for starting my career, and I was able to very fortunately walk right into a job, which was a great, huge benefit. By the way, the person in the picture is my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, he is currently married and he's not on the market. But this is a picture from the day that I graduated from college with my bachelor's degree. I would say I told you a lot of what I did in the United States. I've never been to all 4 years of university in another country. However, I do have to say that the most important part of my college experience was the amazing relationships that I was able to make. Here in this picture, this is a picture from my wedding, which was, oh my goodness, 7 years ago this summer. We actually managed to get a picture of all of my friends from college. And now, just for perspective, I live in Spokane, Washington. My family is from Spokane, Washington. It takes a half a day via airplane to travel there. And all of these people were so close with me that they traveled from Illinois, they traveled from Montana, they traveled from New York, they traveled from Indiana, they traveled from California to be at my wedding. Here you can see me and some of the people in that picture during a snowstorm. You probably have never experienced this, but in the United States, sometimes there's enough snow that school gets canceled because no one is able to drive on snowy roads. So on this particular day, all of our classes were canceled. And so yes, we went outside and had a snowball fight. These are some more pictures of us. We did not actually steal the golf cart. There were no keys in it. It was parked. We just were out at 2 in the morning being silly. No alcohol was involved, surprisingly enough. And we just took a bunch of really funny, crazy pictures. I was also able to participate in a local classical guitar ensemble, and we performed a couple of times throughout the year and had regular practices. And this is a picture of me in Spain, in Segovia. It was raining. The rain in Spain really does fall mainly on the plane. And these are pictures of my 2 best friends. This was my maid of honor in my wedding. Her name is Sarah. And this is my best friend, Teresa. This actually is a keg of root beer. A friend of ours turned 21, but is for medical reasons unable to drink alcohol. So we decided to get her a keg of root beer and have a keg party for her with non-alcoholic beverages. And it was great fun. And now I'm going to give it over to Hani, and Hani's going to explain a little bit more of the side of education that is more academic and less about friends. So I'm the fun.
Yeah, I'm a little less fun than Annie. Anyway, so as Annie said, I work for EducationUSA Czech Republic. So my job is to help you guys if you would like to study at any American university or college. So here is just a little chart that shows how does it work, because I believe that people watching this webinar are mostly from the Czech Republic, and the biggest difference is that studying in an undergraduate program in the Czech Republic, meaning getting your bachelor's degree, only takes you 3 years here. Whereas in the United States, it takes you 4 years. And there are 2 ways how you can get there. So either you can apply to any American university or college, be accepted, spend 4 years and get the degree. Or what you can do is to apply to community college, which it will take you 2 years to go through a community college. And after the 2 years, you can decide that, that's enough. You will get an associate's degree and you can start working. You can go back to the Czech Republic, Or after the 2 years at community college, you can transfer, and you can transfer to any university, you can transfer to any Ivy League school, and you can finish the 2 more years and get a bachelor's degree from that university. So this is the undergrad, but you can also go to the United States for your master's degree studies. So feel free to kind of mix and match. If you are currently in your bachelor's degree here in the Czech Republic, finish your 3 years, and then you can get your master's in the United States. And vice versa. If you study your bachelor's degree in the United States, you can definitely come back to the Czech Republic or anywhere in Europe and study master's degree there. Then there are, of course, doctoral studies and so forth, but that's very fast forward. A little difference is in studying medicine, theology, and law. That is different from what we are used to in the Czech Republic, because in the US, you have to study like 4 years. Your bachelor's degree is going to be kind of pre-med, pre-law, and then only during your graduate studies, you will be applying to medical school, to law school. So it can get longer for you to become a doctor, for you to become a lawyer. It is definitely possible. Just keep in mind that it is different. You are not going to study medicine since the day one at a university. There is the pre-med that will take you 4 years to study.
And just for that, and I studied pre-med. I was pre-med in university. I didn't mention that, but what pre-med means. Sometimes when we discuss what we study, it's a little bit different. Pre-med and pre-law, those are 2 different tracks they're example tracks that you can take. It's not the same as getting a degree. For instance, my father also studied to be a doctor. My father actually was a physician. He's retired now. He studied economics. He was an economics major, but he was pre-med. Now for pre-med, usually that requires 4 semesters of biology, 2 semesters of chemistry, 2 semesters of organic chemistry. The individual universities will sometimes have certain requirements, like some require biochemistry, some require genetics, some require physics. Each individual university has a little bit of a different track, but that's not something that you study. Those are a series of courses that you need to complete before you graduate if you follow that particular track. But then each specialty has another certain number of classes. For instance, for an economics degree, you need to take a certain number of microeconomics classes, a certain number of macroeconomics classes. You may need to take business classes, but the specialization or the major degree that you get will often have different requirements than pre-law or pre-med. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries, you're good, you're good. Yeah.
All right, next is studying in the US.
Yeah.
What are my options?
Exactly. Like I definitely understand that not everyone who is listening to us today is excited to spend 4 years studying bachelor's degree in the United States. So I put together a very simple math, which is in Czech. I apologize, but I'm sure you will understand. And you can easily find your options. So if you are a high school student who would like to spend 1 year at American high school, feel free to reach out to Flex Czechia. It is a program that will, it is a competitive program, but it will, if you are lucky, it will send you to an American high school. It will find you a host family, and it will give you finances to spend that 1 year in the US. So check out their website. And if you are in the 1st and 2nd year of high school, you are eligible to apply. And I think this is a very nice opportunity for you. If you're looking to study your bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degree, feel free to reach out to me, to EducationUSA. But also, if you're interested in your master's and doctorate degree in the United States, there is Fullbright Commission. So check out their website. It's fullbright.cz. They have very nice scholarship options. So it will help you financially when it comes to studying in the US. Then for those of you who are not really into studying, but would love to do summer work and travel, the US Embassy offered that option as well. So if you would love to spend 2 months in the United States working as a lifeguard, working as a waiter, or being a camp counselor, this is your option, and you have to be 18. You have to study at a Czech university, but you know, you can spend 2 months working, 1 month of traveling. You can spend in the US up to 5 months. So if you have the time, this is a great option for you to earn money, to improve your languages, and to travel the world. If you're only looking for improving your English, we have American centers. So Ani is the best one, of course. So that's in Ústí. But we also we also have one in Ostrava, in Prague, in Plzeň, and in Olomouc. The Olomouc one is new, and there is one in Brno. So they usually have some English English conversational clubs. You can join them for free. You can also visit them. They have computers, they have books that you can borrow. You can participate. Sometimes they have some events. So feel free, you will find them online. You can find them on social media as well. And there you'll find the events that they have. And if we have teachers with us today, teachers, counselors, we do have something for you as well. So if you need any help, you know, with helping students from your class to get to the United States, feel free to reach out to me. I have some guides for how to write a recommendation letter, or how to work with students with basic advising. And we also have a program that will give you an ETA, which is English Teaching Assistant, to your school for a whole year. So basically an American comes to the Czech Republic, and if your school applies, you can get that American into your school, and he will teach some English classes, and he will get the students excited about English language, about the US, and then that goes hand in hand with, you know, motivating them to apply for Flex or for Fullbright or for EducationUSA help. So this is all we have to offer. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you so much. And I just want to give a little plug to Hani that her materials that she has for students and for teachers and counselors and parents, it's really, really quite impressive. She knows what she's doing, and she'll be very happy to help you out.
Thank you.
And now we'll continue with what our options are for studying in the United States.
Exactly. So we discussed the Flex program, which is for the high schoolers, and it's basically spending 1 year at American high school. So check out their website. You can go to a community college, which is the 2-year program in America. You can then decide to finish another 2 years at a university and get your bachelor's degree. You can also study a degree program, which is basically getting your bachelor's or master's degree or doctorate degree in the United States. Or you can decide, because you're not sure, you know, if you want to spend 4 years in the US, to do a short-term program. So some schools offer some summer programs, and you will be able to be on the campus. Some of them do it online. It is, you know, it's up to you what you want from that experience. But definitely short-term programs or inter-university exchanges. So this is something that I did. I studied at a Czech university. I studied at Palacký University in Olomouc, and you can either go on Erasmus, which is in Europe, but I went on Merrill's program, which sent me to the United States. But you go there for a semester, for a year, but then you come back and you finish your degree here in the Czech Republic. But this is also a nice way how you can experience it and don't have to stay there for 4 years. You can also apply for a language course, which will be focused mostly on your language skills, but you might go to the UK, to the US for a certain period of time, but you will really learn grammar and vocabulary and tenses, and it will be very intensive, but it will really help you a lot. And then fast forward, when you are studying your master's or doctorates, you can apply for the Fulbright program. On the other side, this is mostly academics, but if you're looking for like working and traveling and maybe even a little studying, you can apply for an au pair program, which is basically a nanny. You will look after kids in the United States. The minimum is 1 year where you can stay in the United States as an au pair. But throughout the time, you can also take some university courses. So you will be able to work on your degree as well. And you will be looking after kids and you will get paid. and you will, of course, improve your languages. So it all goes hand in hand. And the work and travel programs, as we mentioned already, that's basically a summer job where you spend 2 years, hopefully, no, 2 months of working, and you can do up to 1 month of traveling. And it is, again, a nice way how to earn some money, how to improve your languages, get to know the country, and travel. Yeah.
I just want to add a couple of things on a couple of the things that are on this slide. Number one, community colleges, sometimes people kind of look down on them because they're not Harvard, they're not Stanford, they're not UCLA, they're not the most famous of schools. However, if you have family or friends in the United States, pretty much every major city has community colleges. They are far cheaper than most universities, and the financing options are really excellent. They're really good about being affordable. You can get all of the basic classes you need to taken care of right away. And you also can meet some really interesting people. For instance, my dad, I mentioned at the beginning, my dad is a surgeon. He's retired now, but once he retired, he found himself a little bit bored. So he went back to get a degree from the community college, and he's studying mechanics. He wants to learn how to work on cars better. And he said that the people in his classes are the coolest. They're some incredibly smart people, very hardworking, and they're very diverse. They're from all over the world, and they're from all different walks of life. So community colleges can be a really great opportunity for you. Also,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I wanted to add to the community college topic is that I visited one lately, and it's just so nice to see that the classes are much smaller and there are a lot of hands-on activities. And most of the community colleges do have contracts with universities. So you will have that opportunity to transfer and finish your bachelor's degree later with no problem, with no, doing this over and so forth. So you will really then just finish the 2 years, and the cost is much less. So think about it. If you have any questions, yeah, I'll be happy to answer. Mm-hmm.
And to being an au pair, I worked as an au pair in Spain and I loved it. And as a former American child, I can say that we're delightful.
Yeah, right. I worked as an au pair myself twice in France and once in the UK. It is a great experience because not only you get to earn some money, but if you have a positive attitude towards kids, this is a nice way how you can spend summer. When it comes to the US, it has to be the minimum of 1 year, but you can study with, alongside, so it can be cool. And there are some benefits, of course, of studying in the US. So I think that this differs from person to person. So for me, as I said, I studied here in the Czech Republic, and then I went to the US to study at a Moravian college in Pennsylvania. And for me, I wanted to see what is the big deal about, because you see movies and you see the dorms and the food courts and what is it about? Like, what is the campus life and so forth? So in my case, I was really surprised. What is campus? That it is a city inside of a city, and you basically don't need anything else because everything exists within the campus. I was surprised that my dormitories they were amazing. It was my own apartment almost. Like I just shared the kitchen and bathroom with 3 other people, but I had my own room, and it was huge. And there was this big gym on the 2nd floor, and there was this laundry room on the 1st floor. And when I say laundry, I mean washing machine and a dryer. And it was free, like I don't own a dryer, but there it was, there was this huge pool, like all in all the sports equipment and so forth, that was free, and it was just there. You could use it all the time, not to mention the food. Like, I don't know, like I am used to the Czech school canteen when you usually get the rice and the brown sauce and some questionable piece of meat, but there, you get waffles, you get 8 types of eggs. You can choose how you want to be, how they should be made. You get fruit, you get fresh pasta. We got meatless Mondays. So for me, the benefits. Okay, I'm talking about food and everything, but also like the academics. It was It was so much different from what I'm used to or what I was used to here. The teachers were really there for you. It is mostly because the schools in the US, you have to pay for them. So then the services are, of course, different. If you do an inter-university exchange, you usually get scholarship. If you apply there, I also help students to get scholarship so that you don't have to pay the entire amount. But again, you have to pay for the university, therefore the services are they're very good. They're going to help you. There are a lot of centers. So for me, being a Czech person, first time studying in the US, I used a lot of writing center help, and I went to student success seminars, and I really wanted to do well. And there was that help and that support from the teachers. And they even met with me at 9 p.m., like I was so surprised, no consultation hours, and they were so flexible and so kind, and it really helped me grow. So even the opportunities, the connections, like I put some benefits, but that's very general. But I really enjoyed the campus life. I would never wear a Pulaski University t-shirt just like that, but I wore the Moravian College t-shirt. I was proud. I even had the bottle, and I was proud because it is a different environment. Everybody does that. And you will see, like when you're there, you might experience some cultural shock. And I remember I did, and I was so surprised seeing students going in their sweatpants to school because I thought for the first 2 months I thought that they're going to the gym, and I was looked at them. I'm like, oh, they're so into sports. And then I saw them in the class. I'm like, okay, they're not really that into sports. They just go to school like that. So. It was great. Even when you mentioned the snow days, here we are used to going to school when there is 10, 20 centimeters of snow, but then there is 3 millimeters of snow and it's canceled because, you might slip or you might get injured.
Because there's ice. There's ice under the snow. The snow is not the problem. It's the ice under the snow. Go on.
Anyway, it was a really good experience. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm laughing about it now. It was hard in the beginning. For me, I did work and travel before to improve my English. So my English was great regarding spoken English, but I studied pedagogy. I am a social pedagogue. I work with children in their free time. This is what I study. So for me, writing an essay in English about some methods in pedagogy was very hard. But at the same time, the teacher, they know that English is your second language and they're willing to cut you some slack and help you out and so forth, give you more time. So, and it will learn, so this was the best thing I've ever decided to do. So I would like to encourage you to step out of your comfort zone because the impact that it will have on you is much bigger than the fears that you might have right now.
Thank you so much also for being so honest about what was hard about it. From the other side, from someone who worked a lot with foreigners while I was in college, I've yet to find a community college or university that didn't have a really strong system of support for international students. Americans have a reputation for not knowing about geography and being kind of dumb when we travel outside of our own borders. But I do have to say, especially people who work at universities, we really are so happy that people are here, that we get a chance to broaden our horizons. We really enjoy meeting new people, and just about everyone who works at the international student centers either has been an international student themselves or has had a lot of experience with traveling, and they're very good about offering lots of activities for foreign students together, offering lots of English courses, offering extra tutoring, or like you said, help at writing centers to help you with writing your essays. So culture shock is a real thing whenever you live outside of your own country, but I am quite certain that you would be able to find a community and a group of people who could help you to feel more at home. And
definitely. I forgot to describe those pictures. They come from my latest visit to University of Wyoming that I was invited to. People, if you are thinking about it, if you are a sports guy, if you love nature, if you like hiking, check out the University of Wyoming, because those people who are sitting in that international studies office, they are amazing. They took us for a week, Education USA advisors, and they showed us around. So I saw like the College of Law, College of Business, College of Education, College of Health Sciences, and so forth. So I saw all 11 colleges they have. I spoke with teachers. I know in person those people from International Studies Office. Their programs and their scholarship options are amazing. So check out their website. And if you're interested in applying to University of Wyoming, please let me know, because I can really redirect you to people I know and I know will be very happy to help you. It's basically everyone from the International Students Office. They're so helpful and so kind, and they're so happy to have you. But even my school that I studied, Moravian University in Pennsylvania, I think I have the experience with these schools, so I'm mentioning them. But I think, and I hope that you will have a positive experience at any school, because they're happy to have international students, and they will ask you questions about the Czech Republic. They might ask you about Czechoslovakia, but they'll learn quickly, you know? So be ready to answer, bring some traditional food and so forth. It will break the ice, and they are interested in you, like genuinely. So be ready for that.
West is best. Wyoming is just north of Colorado, and it's right by the Rocky Mountains. And I'm from the West originally, so I obviously am a bit biased, but thank you.
But honestly, Wyoming it's great. Like, I'm a city girl. I enjoyed it because Wyoming, and Laramie is the city where University of Wyoming is, was the first place where I saw a horse parked in front of a pub. Because of course you cannot drive a car, you know, when you have alcohol. But apparently you can drive a horse, because at that point the horse is smarter than you and will bring you home. So if you want to get that experience, Wyoming is the place to go.
However, be careful. The drinking age is 21 in the United States.
Exactly.
18, and they are very, very good about catching drunken college students. So I do want to just throw that out there for fun. There's a need for stories on my behalf, but do be aware of the drinking age in the United States. And that's incredible. I hope you took a picture of that horse parked in front of the bar.
I didn't. I was so stunned. I was like, wow, does this really happen in the 21st century? So I just walked by. Yeah.
It happens in Texas too, from what I hear. And with that, we will continue on. Here's some of my experiences. To go along with what Hani said, for myself and for people that I know who also went to university in the United States, the opportunities to travel are really incredible. And you have the chance to travel internationally to a degree. I know that St. Louis University, where I went, they had many service trips all over the place. They had a service trip to Haiti. They had multiple groups that went to different parts of Mexico. They had groups that went also to other parts, like after hurricanes or after natural disasters, they would go to different parts of the United States and do humanitarian work there. There's great ways to get connected to volunteer opportunities at different places within the city, wherever you're studying. There's incredible professional development. There's very good opportunities for networking through your college professors, which I'm really glad that Hani also mentioned how open and willing the college professors are to help you with academic stuff. But as I mentioned, my first job out of university was actually, I got it through my connections with professors and such. And through that job, I was able to network with other professionals in the city. And so I was able to make quite a name for myself as an interpreter and as an advisor for high schools and colleges. So those opportunities are great. Networking is something that's very important to Americans, and we're happy to help people out in networking. And the opportunity to access different arts and culture. St. Louis was a much bigger city than Spokane, Washington, where I'm from is. Spokane has a great arts scene and great arts community, but their St. Louis is bigger and has a longer history than Spokane. And so I was able to go see symphony concerts. I was able to go see different pop and rock concerts. Sometimes these artists actually come even to the university and they'll do small concerts for the university students. The opportunities for things to do in your free time are really, really excellent in the United States as well. Obviously, we're not as old as Europe, and maybe the things that seemed very exciting and culturally significant to me as a 19-year-old American are boring for you. But if nothing else, it's an opportunity to go do something fun with your friends, and it's not just all about studying or all about going to keg parties like you may see in the movies. There's a lot of things to do. And if you're not the sort of person that's into partying, or you are feeling like you need time by yourself, there's plenty of things for you to do as well in the United States, wherever you end up going. By the way, Honduras was the 20th country that I went to. So the picture you see here, that's me in Choloma, Honduras. And I'm showing the number 20 because that was the 20th country that I visited. And these are the kids in Spain that I got to take care of. Aren't they cute? There were actually 6 children in that family.
Wow.
It was an apartment with two rooms for the kids and a room for the parents, and 6 children. But those kids were awesome. I really, really loved them. Now, if you will allow me, we're almost done. Thank you so much for your patience. I have compiled here a list of some common complaints, or not complaints, but things that Czech people might think of as reasons to not go to the United States to study. I'd just like to take them one by one. First of all, it is far away. You're not wrong. That's honestly why a lot of Americans don't make it to traveling in Europe, because it is very far away. I'm well aware of how—
And I do hate flying. I am so scared of flying. Like, I love traveling. I hate flying. So the United States, it's 8 hours to get over Atlantic Ocean, and there is no place to land in case something goes wrong. So I totally share and appreciate this problem. It is far away. So
yes, so is the rest of your future. I would just like to point that out. Everything that's coming for you in the future is far away, but that's not a reason to avoid it. Like, that by itself is not a reason to avoid it. Furthermore, we live in the 21st century, in case you didn't realize that. We have ways to stay in touch with people all over the world. And because of technology, pretty much your entire family is just a text or phone call away, for better or for worse. So it's a great way to challenge yourself, to test yourself. And it's also, if you want to just try something for a short amount of time, like just for a semester or just for a year maximum, then studying in the United States is a great way to kind of check something off the list of things to do in your life. And then you'll be able to talk about it forever. Another thing is, a lot of people look at the tuition costs and see how expensive it is. Yes, it is expensive. I'm well aware.
I can help with that for sure, because there are tons of options to offset costs. And I am very good at finding the ways how to get scholarships, how to reach out to Czech Foundation. So in this, I don't want to say that it will always be solved, but I can at least help to lower the cost. So there are some ways how to do that.
And one thing, my first job that I got after college was working with primary schools to help kids get into high school and then into college. And so my job was looking for scholarships for people. In a lot of cases, there are so many scholarships. There are scholarships for people who have red hair. I am not kidding you. If someone has red hair, there are scholarships out there. They may not be for the—
Okay, talk to her about scholarships. She knows better.
Well, it changes all the time. But my point being that, like, there are ways to finance an education in the United States, and solutions are out there. Yes, it is expensive, but it's expensive for all of us. And so we all have different ways of being able to help you find ways to cover it. Some people say, I can study and do Erasmus in Europe. Why would I go to the United States? Yes. However, with Erasmus, you can't experience all that is uniquely American. For example, when I was in Spain, I met someone who was studying on Erasmus. I believe he was from Turkey, I believe. And he said to me, "Oh, you're American? Oh, I love America. I've been to Los Angeles and Las Vegas and Miami and New York." And I said, great. So you know those 4 cities that are most commonly featured on American TV shows. I could have sat at home on my couch and watched a TV show about them. So with Erasmus, there are tons of benefits to Erasmus, don't get me wrong. However, if you really want to experience America, there is no better way to do it than to do something that is American, which is studying at a university in America. Did you want to add anything to that, Hani?
I just wanted to say that you can do both. You can do Erasmus. You can also do study in the US. You can do both throughout your bachelor's. The Czech Republic education system allows you to do it. So take advantage and do both. You can, how else you're going to decide where you're going to end up in your future. So do both.
What a time to be alive. That's just, that's awesome. Another concern, they speak English in America, and I worry about my English skills. Yes, we do speak English in America. Good job. Americans are some of the most welcoming of foreigners. We tend to be very understanding of and just really appreciate if people are trying to speak English. We know it's a hard language. We have to study it ourselves. And we tend to be the most helpful with others when trying to speak English, better than other English-speaking nations in the world who will remain anonymous. But additionally, it's true, you are going to have really good English, but there's no better way to learn than by forcing yourself to. And the other thing is there will be so many fun and awesome experiences. It's going to be hard studying in not your first language, but there's a lot of support for you, and there's a lot of really fun, awesome ways to improve your English.
And this is true. Like, I am Czech. I learned English at school. I was really bad student in English, and I started off with au pair jobs, because you start off with kids, and you learn throughout games. And then I did work and travel.
That's the worst. Learning languages from kids is so incredibly
hard. It is, but I learned something, then I did work and travel. So again, a little help and not in that academic environment. And then I applied for school, and I remember, like, they're not going to correct you unless you ask them to. So they will really try hard to understand what you're trying to say. In my case, I always mixed a little French, a little Czech in there, and they really try hard.
So
also,
smart.
Like, Google Translator is the best. So honestly, like, Google Translator, seznam slovník, and so forth. And I have to say, they told me that before I went to the US for studies. But I didn't have any dreams for first 14 days. Like, my head was just like really hot and boiling, no dreams, because you are constantly surrounded by English, people asking you in English and so forth. But then something switched, and that's when you don't start like the sentence in your head, because my problem was I always said the sentence in Czech and then I translated it word by word. But when you start thinking as an American and you don't have to do that translation in your head so that you can express yourself, that's when you got it. And that's what I experienced after 14 days and up to a month, that my brain changed. And sometimes it was a complete disaster what came out of my mouth. But they understood and they helped me out. And, if that doesn't work, Google Translator can also like do your voice thing. So you can talk to it in Czech and it will translate automatically. So don't worry about it. Really, like, it will help you, and you will see the difference once you come back, like how much better you got. And try it on Netflix, watch movies in English with subtitles. And it will come to you, because from Czech universities, from Czech high school, we have great passive vocabulary. It is in our head, so you will understand, no problem. It's just the fact that you have to use the words and you have to use the tenses. And believe me, nobody will ever ask you to use present perfect tense. No, they will only ask you to use present simple, past simple, maybe present continuous, and going to maybe will. That's it, nobody will ever ask you to do that. If I've ever something, blah, blah, blah. Nope, you don't need that. Honestly, you don't need that. So don't worry about it. See, she doesn't even know what present perfect tense is.
As an English teacher, this hurts my heart, but I'm going to let you go. Speaking of that, I have to take really hard language tests to get into a school. That I would say Honey can talk more specifically about loopholes being Czech, but we have tons of resources to help you be successful at whatever entrance exams your school requires. And you may be surprised to find that the requirements for the tests are not as scary as you may have heard. So next one, I don't think I'm smart enough to go to school in the United States. I can't speak to your
You skipped over one, sorry.
Did I skip?
Yeah.
I didn't. I said it. No, I said I have to take really hard language tests to get into a school.
Oh, okay. You didn't skip. I skipped. Sorry.
Yes, you skipped. All right. Welcome to the webinar, Honey.
Yeah.
So the one I was addressing is I don't think I'm smart enough to go to school in the United States. The answer to that is I can't speak to your particular intelligence, dear viewer. However, I do know that the US has so many schools and it has such a wide range of options that there is certainly going to be something that is a fit for you. It's just a matter of knowing yourself, knowing what you want out of life, knowing what you want to study. And from there, you can pick a school that will be just right for you. And trust me, I met lots of dumb people in college. They let lots of really dumb people into universities. Some other time I can tell you many stories, but that's whatever. We don't have time today.
No, but honestly, we don't have time, or does it matter that we will kind of go over, like, because I took a semester about student success seminar, when I was at Moravian, and I thought that it will teach me about how to be a successful student. And it turned out to be a seminar, a class for dropouts who were trying desperately to be at school. And I was sitting there with all these students who hated school, me, an international student who had 4.0 GPA. And I was there with the students who wanted to go to work and didn't want to study. And there was this teacher showing those motivational videos, like, you can do it, you have what it takes. I'm like, I know, like, that's why I'm here. And I just, just make sure you understand what the course is all about, because this one I really missed,
I have to say, but that's a very good point, because also you can study English for as many years as you like, but when you said student success seminar that you signed up for, I thought, oh no, that is what she wanted, because that's just one of those things. If it's a seminar course, then that means it's probably going to be not as rigorous academically, perhaps. And
it was very interactive, a lot of homework, but the homework were like, draw a jar and put a big stone and name the big stones. I'm like, really? I am in my master's studies and I'm drawing a jar full of stones. So, that was bad. And then I actually had to write my own obituary. So
what?
I had to, yeah. And we had to say why we were so proud about, what we did here. I'm like, nope. So, just be careful,
A lot of shame and regret for picking the wrong class.
Yeah. That was bad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I'm so sorry you had that less than rigorous experience.
It's a funny story, like,
Yeah, for sure. Oh boy. Back to productive things. I am overwhelmed with everything I need to do to study in America. That is totally fair. I got overwhelmed a lot when I was applying for schools and researching schools. And if I, as an American, got overwhelmed preparing to study in the United States, I cannot imagine how overwhelmed y'all must be feeling. So we understand your pain. We've been there. We both got degrees from the United States. So like, there's something to be said for, if we can do it, anyone can do it. And we also will be so happy to help you with every step of the process. And I like to be honest. I don't like to pretend that I know all the answers or that I know everything, but I can tell you that what I don't know, I'm happy to find out. So if you ask me a question, you can ask me any question. And if I don't know I will either answer right away, or I will give you an answer when I have all of the information.
I remember there is no stupid question. Honestly, like ask anything. I needed to have the reassurance that I can really ask anything. So feel free to ask anything with me. Really. Yeah.
Likewise with me. Don't ask me where babies come from. I will be the only person I know in America. Well, American schools have a lot of experience with foreign students. We are, I do stand by the fact that we are a nation of immigrants, and we have diversity to some extent built into our culture. So I can assure you that you will have a vibrant and supportive community in no time. It may be different than the community that you're used to, and you may find yourself in uncomfortable situations, but it's not the end of the world if you're the only Czech person that you know in America, or the only person that you know in America.
And I would like to add that it's very unlikely, like especially if you are on Facebook and you type Czech students in and then New York, Washington, D.C. and so forth, there'll be groups, you know, especially then when you arrive to the United States. I remember there was a club for international students, and I met Czech students, I met Slovak students. Plus, we have been working with Czech students and we send them to the US. So we have Facebook groups that are dedicated for Czech students in the United States, where I'll be happy to add you, and you can definitely post questions. You can get in touch with people and get some advice.
And again, on that note, for my honeymoon, I went with my husband to Glacier National Park, which is in the middle of nowhere, Montana. Like there are more, in the state of Montana, there are more cattle than there are people. Like there are more cows that live there than people, I'm pretty sure. And I met a Czech person working at Glacier National Park. She was a waitress in a restaurant. On their name tags, the waiting staff had what country they were from, because there were a lot of international employees. And we saw that she was from Prague, Czech Republic. And so my husband started talking with her in Czech, and she got all excited to finally be able to speak Czech with someone. And was there for the summer, was just working. So you'll find your people. You'll find your people, I'm quite sure. And overall, if you're just overwhelmed and don't know where to start, you have us, my friend. We are happy to help you, and we would love to help you find what you're meant to do in life. And if that is in a United States university or college, all the better. So being overwhelmed is a reasonable thing, and it's fair, but we'll help you through the overwhelmedness. And here we have financing opportunities.
Yeah, this is actually a super important question. And it's just one of the first questions I get from students, like, I won't be able to afford it. So my job is for you to kind of help you navigate the steps. So first, we usually find a university which is the best fit for you. And the second step is that we look at the finances and the scholarship opportunities. So I'm going to be talking in general mostly. So some schools that students apply to sometimes offer tuition waiver. So if you know what tuition is, I'm going to just say it, it's školné, because when it comes to the United States, you usually have to pay for tuition, accommodation, and food. And then, of course, insurance and your travels back and forth. So some schools may offer tuition waiver, meaning they'll waive the cost of tuition away for you, which is a great deal. It cuts off a lot of money from the entire budget. So you can apply for that. You can apply for merit-based scholarship, which is prospěchové stipendium, and it depends on your merits, basically, on your grades, on your extracurricular activities, on your certificate. So if the school offers it, I usually encourage students to apply for it, because they are highly achieving students. They have very good academics and so forth, and they can get money for the merit-based scholarship as well. That will help them cover the food or the accommodation. Need-based scholarship is translated as sociální stipendium, and that depends on the income of your family. So you will have to show daňová přiznání of your parents, and based on that, they'll decide if you are eligible for a need-based scholarship. The good thing is that you can apply for all of them. it can be mix and match. You can, if the school offers all three of them, I'm like, do it, you know? And once you get it for the whole time. So for 4 years of your study. So it doesn't mean that you'll get the money just the first year and then you will be all worried about how you're going to pay for the rest. But once they give you tuition waiver, they're going to give it to you for the 4 years. If you do any sport, this is also such a green card to the United States because many schools offer athletic scholarships. So once you agree that you would represent the school in that sport, and you will study as well, and it can be study to become a coach, but you can also study biology or I don't know, law, whatever, but combining sports and law is a little crazy. But if you do agree to study and represent the school, like, you know, on that athletic field, you might be offered an athletic scholarship, which is great because it covers tuition, accommodation, and food for the whole time. So those students usually only get to pay the insurance and the plane tickets, you know, from the Czech Republic to the US. So this is a really good deal. You have to work with the coach. And to start off, we usually search for a university that would have a good tennis team or a swimming team or, I don't know, like a running team. So I do have a couple students this year who got accepted. One got accepted to Harvard and he is a runner. So this is really cool. And, you know, he got 100% of scholarship, so he doesn't have to pay for anything, which is super great offer. And I'm very happy for him. And then I have a girl, she got accepted to Birmingham Young University. Also, she's doing hurdles. Yeah, sorry. Okay. And again, great scholarship opportunity. So if you do any sport, even if you play chess, come on, they consider chess to be a sport. So please let me know and we will work our way. Yeah. Here I also listed on-campus employment, also called work study, which is not a type of scholarship. It is a way how you can earn money during your study. So you can work 20 hours per week on campus. If you study a biology major, chemistry major, your work study can be in the lab and you can work there with your professors. I did a work study in a business office. So I just, you know, it sounds super fancy, but the only thing I did was just like put papers in the folders and put them alphabetically on the shelf. Like it was super easy, but I got to meet people from the administration's office and it was really nice. But the jobs are usually in the library or in the gym, you know, in the cafeteria. So this is a nice way how you can earn some extra money to then, you know, be able to spend on the accommodation, food, or tuition. The last option, and not very popular one from my point of view, is a loan from the bank. So of course, students can get a loan, but I usually try to do like those other funding opportunities. And the big advantage of the Czech Republic is that we have foundations. So even if you get a tuition waiver and a need-based scholarship from school, there still might be some finances left for you to pay from your own pocket. But then the foundations come into the picture. And I usually tell the students, reach out to all of them. You know, it usually has to be a letter explaining your situation. But if the foundation finds you interesting for some reason, they might be able to help you financially. So I listed 4 of them, but on our website, there is a whole list about 16 agencies and foundations that can help you financially. So feel free to ask me about them. If you click on them, you will see if they support undergraduate students or if they support STEM students and so forth. So just be aware there are deadlines for the application. So if you are in the 2nd or 3rd grade, just check it out. I know that you can apply to Bacala Foundation twice in your 2nd and 3rd year, and they'll hold it for you if you get it. So it is, again, a nice way how you can get some money and you don't have to pay for it later from your own pocket.
One little note about getting loans, just a bit of a personal, not for me as myself, but a bit of a personal perspective. There are so many Americans that are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for college and or for higher education. And the way loans work for higher education in the United States is quite broken, and there are many of us who want to see serious reforms. But I would definitely say exhaust every other option before you think about a loan, because it can be very crippling, and it can make you miserable many years down the road. And additionally, another on-campus employment, sometimes the international students from St. Louis University, at least, they were able to find on-campus work as language tutors. So if you know German or if you know French, you can apply to be a tutor for those language courses. You will probably be surprised at how much better you are than the students of those languages at college. Additionally, at the Student Center, the International Student Center, there might be jobs available. There were a lot of students that worked directly at the International Center. So those are options for you as well.
Great. Now I have some first steps. I don't want to be boring. I don't want to overwhelm you, at all. So I'm just going to mention that there are approximately 5 steps, which is not that crazy. In the first step, I'll be happy to help you finding the best fit, meaning you and the university. So it is not really all about, I want to go to Harvard, because we all know Harvard, we all know Princeton, we all know Brown. But if it's not the best fit for you, you're not going to be happy there. So I usually ask students, do you want to study in a big city, or do you want to be close to the airport, or do you want to be close to the beach? Like I want to be close to the beach. Or do you want to study in a huge school, with a lot of students, or are you, a big fan of smaller classes? And all that I take into account. Also, the majors, of course, or the combination with a hobby that you might want to do. It can be horseback riding, it can be swimming. So we put all that together, and there are some researching tools that I'll be happy to provide to you, where you put it into a search box, and when you click on the search button, it will show you schools that can combine it, the location, the major, the hobby, whatever. So this is how we narrow the options, because, and I'm going to be honest, many Czech students come to me and they only want to apply to Ivy League schools, which are highly competitive. I always say, sure, that's your dream school, let's do it, but also put a target school, and a safety school on your list, so that if the US is your dream, you really have the chance to be accepted somewhere. So this is the first step. And then I put a little application checklist for you there, which I'm not going to go into details, but you can see the steps there. One of them is taking SAT or ACT exam, which is basically an entrance exam. Here in the Czech Republic, you usually take testy studijních předpokladů. To the US, it's ACT, SAT, but many schools after COVID decided that they are not going to require them because they're very general. They don't really tell you anything about the student. So for instance, the University of Wyoming right now, where I was, they told me they don't require SATs anymore, but some schools, they do. You take them in Prague, you study for them online. There are some practice tests. And then when you get a score, you just show it to the school. You also have to take a language exam. Either you have a certificate like FCE or CAE. Right now, if you don't have that, you can just do a Duolingo exam. Again, it became very easy. You take it from home. So I'll be happy to show you some resources how to study for it. You will have to translate your school reports and ask 2 teachers for recommendation letters. Here, I am happy to provide them with a guide that we have so that your letter really shines. And then you will be working on an essay. So this is, again, something I'll be very happy to help you out with. If you create a Google document that you share with me, there are some topics available online. If you Google common application essay topics, it will show you about 8 topics. And the essay is a space for you to tell the school something interesting about you. So I'm happy to help you brainstorm. I'm happy to help to bring really the best out of you and to write an essay. It is an A4 page essay, so not that long. But yeah, this is the thing that you will have to write. And the last part is International CSS Profile, which is a financial document. We have a walkthrough, and it will ask you for information about the financial situation of your family, because based on that information, they'll calculate your scholarship. So it is important for them to know how do you stand, and if you come from 16 kids or if you are an only child, and if your parents are super rich or normal, and they'll offer you scholarships so that you will be able to study at their university. But I'll walk you through all the steps. You know, this is just an idea of what you will be facing.
Thank you again for your effort in putting all of these materials together, Hani, or collecting them from various places where they're useful. This is really awesome stuff.
Yeah, thank you. It was actually my colleague Marielle and Clara who did it, and I just updated. This is a timeline, really important, especially when it comes to studying in the US at a university, because, and it is my nature too. I tend to leave everything to the last minute, and unfortunately, it doesn't work like, oh, Ani does it too. You know, she doesn't say anything, but she has the same thing. But it unfortunately doesn't work like that in the US. So here I put a timeline for students who are in their second year of high school. So if you are in your third year of high school this year, you might still be able to make it, but it will just be keep job in check, you know. So I put it here for the second year of high school, meaning that you guys, if you're studying in your second year of high school, you have the entire summer to think it through, talk to your parents about it, reach out to me, and we will start in the spring of 2023. And we will start to prepare for the tests for taking the language test if the school requires SAT. So doing that. Then the summer of 2023, we will prepare the application. So putting in your school reports and your recommendation letters and the information about you and so forth. Because then in November, starting November 1st, it is the first day of application deadline. So you can apply to your early application deadline, which is early action, early decision, November 1st. It goes all the way through March, of course, but for those early birds, it's November. So for those of you who are watching and you are in your third grade, or you're going to be in your third grade, it's just, you have to count on that November deadline. And if you can make it, like, it would be a lot of work throughout the summer. It doesn't mean that you won't get it. You will definitely be able to apply, but it is a lot of work during the summer. And I'm not sure about your plans, but it is a little tense right now. So for the second graders, this is the perfect timing if you finished your second grade and going to the third grade. Then, of course, throughout May and April, it's March, April, you will hear back from the schools, and then you're starting the university in the fall of 2024. So this is a very, I'm not gonna scare you, but just start early, please, and reach out to me in your second or third grade the best, okay?
I'm unclear on something, Hani. Are we supposed to start early on this?
You don't have to. You already got your degree.
Oh, good. Because I was starting to feel my blood pressure rising just with all you had to do was say November 1st, because I applied to one school early decision, and so my deadline was November 1st, and all you had to do was mention November 1st, and I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, just remember that, like, if you are thinking about it, remember and think about it for yourself. Am I able to do it until November 1st? You know, this is your first deadline. So if you just finished your third grade and you're going into your fourth grade, there is still time, but come on, start writing that email to me. There is going to be my email address at the end. So start typing.
All right.
But no pressure, guys, you know.
Yeah, no pressure.
Here are some important sources for you. So I put a QR code to our newsletter, which is a great source of information. And I'm not saying it just because I have to write it each month, but I forced Ani to read it at least. No, honestly, like
I will be reading it.
I put information for you guys if you're going to be the fall 2023 students. I usually put to-do lists so that you are really on track. You don't forget anything important. I put information about what's new. Maybe right now I put the information that the US don't require negative tests anymore upon arrival, or I put the dates for your SAT exams, or where to find the Duolingo exams and so forth. So feel free to subscribe. You can also find the older newsletter on our website, but this is a great source of information and to get like the basic idea, what should you be working on this month. I also put down the website that you can find Education USA on. We share a website with Fullbright Commission, but we have a Poradenské centrum site there. There is also Education USA website. It is huge, so like, just use the search box over there. You can also join our Facebook group for applicants. So it is entirely in Czech, and you will see all the students that have worked with me and Mariel, my prior colleague, and they are currently in the United States, or they were accepted and they are going in August of 2022. So you might be able to ask them questions, or sometimes you are interested in the same major as they are studying. So this is a great place to ask even stupid questions, and we do monthly hangouts, so you can join that call. It's in the rooms of Facebook, and you can see them, that they're live and they're real, and it's cool. We have Instagram. Ani has Instagram. She has better Instagram. She puts her cat there. I don't do that, but I put mostly like information about scholarships, information about majors, or right now I'm posting a lot from my visit to Wyoming, so about scholarship options, about majors, and so forth. We also have a YouTube channel, which is an amazing source of information, because all these webinars that we do, and right now this is a general webinar about studying in the US. But before, with Ani, we did a webinar about application pieces, and I did a webinar about sports scholarships, about interviewing for US universities, or about Common Application, which is the application how you apply to US universities. And it is all recorded and uploaded on YouTube. So feel free to watch the webinars. It explains a lot, and it will answer the most common questions, and then definitely reach out to me later. And we have a link tree, which is, I love it. Like, it's so easy, and it will take you, to, like, I love it. I didn't know it until I started this job. So I just put it there. And there is a little map that shows you the advising centers that we have all around the Czech Republic. So Ani is from Ústí, but there is one in Plzeň, and I am located in Prague. Then there is Brno, Olomouc, and Ostrava. But if you are from Pardubice, just reach out to us, and we will do an online meeting and so forth. I tried last year, it was this year, 2022. I visited many high schools, and I talked to students in person, and I am planning on doing it as well next year and this fall probably. So if you feel that there are many students in your class who might be interested in either studying or working in the US, this is also something that I would love to receive an email about, and I'll be happy to come to your school. It is free of charge. And I'll be happy to bring some promotional materials, some toolkits, to show you all the steps and talk to you about your options and opportunities and how I can help you with all of that.
These visits are very much fun. I can vouch for that. And here we have come to the end. Thank you again so much for your attention. Here I have contact information for myself and for Hani. Like I said, you can reach out to us on Instagram. We each have Instagram pages, and I do my best to stay up to date with that. So you can send me a DM or a soukromá zpráva through Instagram. You can do that for Hani as well. And yes, I do post my cat a lot because he's a lot cuter than I am. If you're interested in improving your English and you are in the Ústí region, we have events on Mondays and Fridays. In the afternoon, we have Chlu pondělí and Chlu pátek. And Kryptonite, my cat, comes with me to the library, and we have conversational clubs, and we talk about anything. The last Friday we talked about movies, and we talked about books, and then we talked about different words that exist in Czech but don't exist in other languages. There was a lot of laughing, mostly at me because I'm ridiculous and people just laugh at me. But we would love to get to know you, and we would love to help you in whatever way we can. So again, This is our contact information. You can reach out to either of us. We always like followers. This webinar has been recorded and we'll be uploading it to the Severočeská vědecká knihovna YouTube website, YouTube playlist, I mean, about webinars.
And the EducationUSA Czech Republic as well.
And the EducationUSA Czech Republic. In the next day, I will be posting a link to this video on my Instagram page. So this is the part of the show where you follow this Instagram page, and in the next 24 hours, you'll find a link to the video. Also follow this Instagram page as well. She's very fun and approachable, and she posts pretty pictures. And thank you so much for your attention. If there are no questions, I think we can call it a day. Stay nerdy. Nerds conquer the world.
Oh my God, I don't want to finish like that. I didn't prepare for this. I thought you were going to wrap it up, but in a normal way, not stay nerdy.
Have you met me before? Since when have you ever done anything normal?
Yeah, that's right. Like if you want to be like fun and so forth, talk to Annie. If you want to be serious, talk to me. No, guys, really, as you see, we are two normal girls, women. Please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. There is no charge. So all of the services are free, and we're happy to work with you and happy to follow your path to the United States. It's great.
I'm fond of it. I'm rather fond of it. And believe it or not, I can be serious too. It just is difficult. I would much rather make people laugh.
That's why we team up.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Have a great evening. Thank you for watching us.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for your time, honey. Take
Sure,
care.
of course. It was a pleasure. Bye.